Hey guys, this is Comic and today I'm doing a review for Bitten Season 3, Episode 2. So let's get started and talk about this episode. Now, in the last episode, we had a huge cliffhanger of finding out that Elena was actually adopted and then meets face-to-face with her father. And the next episode picks up directly from that and learning a little bit about her real father. And of course, she kind of has to process this, and that's most of the episode, going to Clay and saying, what do I do with this information? Were my parents really my parents? I'm kind of confused. And then, of course, Clay is really supportive and says, whatever you want me to do, like, you know, let's figure this out. And she does meet with her father again and try to learn a little bit more about him and see if it's actually her father. And after meeting up with him again, it seems like Elena's pretty much convinced that this is her father. Other events happening, I feel like it's more A and B story for this episode. There wasn't a lot of, you know, I feel like these are the two main stories for this episode. But yeah, the next the next story is with Jeremy and dealing with the whole pack situation. Now we still have the other werewolves, who's bad, who's good, who's on Jeremy's side, who isn't. And we see a connection with one of the Soviet Union / Russian werewolves, where we see that this werewolf is actually targeting Elena's real father. And we see the two stories collide in that way, and that's how the episode ends, where Jeremy's like looking at the Russian werewolf beat up on this other werewolf, and he doesn't really he's not really fazed by it. And then we have the discussion with Elena and her father saying, oh, you know, this person's trying to get you, what do we do? So that's how the episode ends. So what I think of the episode overall, really, really good episode. The story I was definitely most interested in from last episode was the Elena family story. That was an awesome cliffhanger, and I feel like a really good way to wrap up the season, to have this type of story, to find out exactly why Elena was able to become a werewolf. And it seems like because she was a werewolf in her blood, and I guess the bite from Clay really just was able to make her a full werewolf. And now I'm also very interested in her sister's story. Like, will the sister be able to become a werewolf in some way because of DNA? I don't know. I feel like she might have an important part. But it's also that idea of you know, the family aspect of the packs obviously being important, but also the mythology of the packs throughout these seasons of learning, oh, well, the son has to go away from the mother, or, you know, we've seen these rules, even with Logan's child. So we're seeing these rules, and can they make new rules? And obviously Elena kind of is a new rule because she is the first female werewolf. So what do we do with this family? It's going to be an interesting way to kind of explore the mythology that Bitten has made with family aspects, which I think has been so interesting with this show. So yeah, I like that this whole episode kind of takes more of the story being about Elena. Like, I feel like usually the show splits up with 3 stories of having, you know, Clay do something or Jeremy do something. Here, I think they took a lot of time to make Elena process what just happened, you know, with her family, and even explore a little bit more about her family and make you care about those characters too. And also, a complaint I had from this episode, last episode, that I think has improved in this episode was the main story of like all the packs going against each other. But honestly, I think it's gonna be, the main story is going to be Jeremy kind of versus Elena at this point, because I don't think Jeremy's gonna agree with Elena. And you saw Elena lie to Jeremy in this episode, where Elena doesn't really, or at least not tell the full truth, where she could have said, yeah, you know, my father's here, this is everything that's happened, just like she did with Clay, but she doesn't tell Jeremy, and I think that's gonna bring kind of a feud here, and I think that's gonna be the build-up, especially after seeing that the face of Jeremy in the end of that episode. He's seeing blood all over this werewolf and this other, you know, the Russian werewolf attacking this person, and Jeremy's face doesn't change. And I think we've definitely seen Jeremy harden throughout the 3 seasons, like I said in my episode 1 review. So I think that relationship's going to be interesting, how the pack dynamic changes because of this new information. So overall, really enjoyed this episode. Can't wait to see what comes up next with the whole family plot, and see how the characters interact with again with this new this new storyline that I think really changes the mythology of Bitten in a lot of ways, or could change the pack dynamic in a way. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. Of course, I'll have a review for Bitten next week. This was Comic Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to like my Facebook page. Also, description below, there's links from my comic book, Like Father, Like Daughter. And don't forget to like the Facebook page of Like Father, Like Daughter. I'll see you guys later. Bye.